look over time, you will see these numbers have gotten high. When I said these started out as a report he was reading in the hundreds of thousands, and then it slowly went to million, and then last month it was 2, and now it's 3, and this is the month she finally admits there's a deficit. But watch who she points the finger at. Now, this is the very same Stan Brown who's come in my comments and said, when you point fingers at somebody else, you got 3 pointing back at yourself. Oh, nigga. But when she does this blame shifting thing, I need to hear him come on the mic and say it, but I never do. Y'all, this is crazy.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Any discussion?
If I can be recognized.
Go ahead.
And before Trustee Jason House is recognized, let me just remind us, by this point, the person who sits in the seat as the mayor of this village, who said it is her job and her duty to protect the village at all times, is well aware that Trustee Andrew Holmes is a rapist and he drugs people. She's well aware of it at this point. Okay? So we know why he's going to vote and support everything she says. We also know why he ain't going to say a mumbling word in this whole goddamn meeting. And we also understand now why his hairline is rapidly receding.
Okay. This warrant list, I'm not in favor of all items on there. I do, if the board sees fit, would like to ask for an amendment on there. I think we have some previous approved items from previous warrant lists that still have not been taken care of. And I don't want us to continue going further in the hole. I hope that we can start to address some of the...
Here's the mention. Here's the first time it's mentioned. We have previous approved items from previous warrant lists that still have not been paid. Now, let's establish this before Lime Green Suit starts to talk. A deficit is not created by not paying bills. A deficit is created by removing money. Because the deficit is in the general fund. The general fund does not have a quote-unquote budget when you look at it. It's not balanced. It's just like if you look at your checking account and then you look at your notepad where you keep your budget. If your checking account has money in it, you are not at a deficit. Now, you might look at your budget and say, my budget is not balanced. I need to adjust some things, make some changes so that I can balance my budget according to what's in my account. You know, we do that throughout our week, throughout our day. We have our weekend budget. We have our weekday budget. We go on vacation. We got our budget for that. And throughout our vacation, we go back and look at how much money we have versus what we still want to do. And we say, well, let me make some adjustments. Maybe we won't go here. Maybe we will do that. Maybe we have a little extra surplus that we didn't expect because something else turned in and we got a refund or we got a payment from somewhere while we were out on vacation. So now we got extra money to play with. But here's what a deficit is. Regardless of what's in your notepad, Tiffany Henyard, Roland Martin, a deficit is when I look at that general fund and it ain't no money. And the money is spinning backwards. When I was in China, if you had a positive bank account, the number was displayed in red. And if you had a negative bank account, the number was displayed in green. That place is crazy. I'm telling you. It's wild. But that's what it was. I knew my money was good when my money was red. It's crazy. I never saw my money go green. That's why I stayed there. But it was an interesting concept, a way that people could quickly look and see if they owed the bank some money. And that's what a deficit means, Tiffany, Lime Green Suit, Henyard.
Previous bills that have been broken into multiple checks that we were informed that we have the money, but people are still not getting paid. There are also other, in addition to that, we do also have outstanding money owed to Public Works for retro payments for 4 years of payments. So I think we'll want to make sure we get those paid first. So I do have some amendments that I would like to propose to the board should this vote be unsuccessful. Thank you.
All right. There's been a motion and second. Please call the roll.
I'd like to make a suggestion, Mayor.
Okay, 1 second. They're gonna vote on this because he basically said he have amendments, so more than likely y'all gonna make a amended motion. So if you want, y'all don't want to pay all the bills, you can vote on it and then make your motion thereafter.
Okay.
Clerk Keegan, please call the roll.
Trustee Dunwood.
No.
Trustee Stan Brown.
Let me be clear on this here. We vote to amend this?
No, this is vote. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is
Now, Tiffany Henyard, here was your opportunity to treat Stan Brown as fairly as you treat everybody else. Here was your opportunity to be equitable and show that you disrespect everybody. That when somebody demonstrates that they don't know what the fuck is going on because a whole lot of conversation has happened, you berate everybody. Here was your opportunity, but you didn't.
The motion to approve the AP warrant list as
Oh,
submitted.
it's read, okay.
And so if you want the list as submitted, you'd vote yes. It would need, in order to get to an amended motion, this motion would need to fail.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Tammy Brown.
No.
Trustee House.
No.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Belcher.
No.
Motion failed.
All right. Is there a motion to pay the corporate bills?
Yes. If I can be recognized.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to pay the corporate bills with the following amendments or items removed. First, discount fence. Items $23,096 on page 6. Existing concrete, $14,123.03, page 7. 5-star, $57,625, page 7. K5 construction, $258,290.06 on page 9. Giants Pro Tree Service, $155,000, page 9. K&M Ventures, $100,150 on page 10. Lopez Lawn Maintenance, $10,000 on page 11. Raoul and Sons, $144,450, page 15. Prestige Maintenance, $14,425, page 15. S&S Upscale Lawn, $16,740, page 16. Starter Heating and Cooling, $11,500, page 16. Thank Me Later, $520, page 16. And Welsh Ready Mix, $21,878.86 on page 17. So my motion is to pay the bills with the following exclusions.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
And I will share with you that I have no extra insight on any of those bills, except for 5-star being the guy who keeps submitting new invoices for concrete work with the ice rink, with the skating rink, and throughout the town. At this point now, he probably would consider himself to be owed close to $2 million in the month of February 2023.
There's been a motion and second. Any discussion? So I'm gonna start like this. It's a shame that you guys come to these board meetings and sit here and take people out of the warrant list to be paid.
Oh, and I'm going to give y'all a heads up. She talks for a very, very, very long time. Very, very, very long time. A very, 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 very long time.
The things that you just named, Trustee House, is services to the residents of Dalton. Speaking of all the vacant property that get cut by those vendors as we speak now. When people call in and ask us to cut down,
I kind of think she might be on cocaine. This is 2 hours and 20 minutes into the start of a meeting that took 10 minutes to start on camera and started late in person. It's gotta be some good shit. And she gonna go on for longer, y'all.
your rates on that tea with the trustee, y'all spend $1,500. You got invoices for every single tea with the trustee.
I'm tired of singing over her talking at double speed. But she's not tired of talking at regular speed. There's a mental problem that we are watching unfold here for a person to feel so comfortable taking up space for so long in such a low vibrational way.
We pay them back. But y'all telling the truth to people, right? Trying to tell that last one, right? But let's tell it, since we telling the truth today, right? So what are you doing to bring revenue in here, trustees?
She say that they not prepped, but Tangenique gonna repeat almost everything you just heard this woman say. Okay? Oh, Lord. I just look forward to the moment when we can sing, everybody look out, there's something coming through. Everybody look up. Do-do-do. I'm just looking forward to, can't you feel a brand new day? Can't you feel a brand new day? I'm telling you, y'all, we are all flying to Dalton, and we're going to wear multicolored dresses with big plume skirts underneath, and we are going to dance with y'all in the street. Do you hear me? We are going to resurrect Michael Jackson to come back and sing, can't you feel a brand new day? I'm telling you, y'all deserve a party. Not with your own money, though. With Tiffany, Keith, Tangenique, Scott Gilmore, Stacy Carell, Janice Johnson, Kim, whatever her last name is. Probably Pete McCain, because he be quiet, but he's still over there getting his money. William, don't pray for me no more. Y'all deserve the restitution money they will pay back to the city of Dalton in millions of dollars. Y'all deserve a party. Can't you feel a brand new day? That's what keeps me going. I know y'all will be free from this. And what she has shown you was what Donald Trump showed us as a country. Okay? Sometimes it got to get this wicked out in the open for you to see what's popping. I'm not going to be quiet while she talks, because I just don't think she deserves that kind of respect anymore. But go ahead, Tiffany. Go on.
Because at the end of the day, our expenses have increased. So I want y'all to know that and make sure you
personally attacking each and every single. How do y'all keep from jumping up on that podium and whooping her strangling little ass? She's easy. She's easy. Let me not. I don't endorse violence on YouTube.
Nothing. Learn the laws. I say that all the time. Learn from me. Because I'm younger than y'all got to learn from y'all. But guess what? I went. So I'm just telling y'all.
I said I gotta learn the lyrics to that song so we can get ready for her incarceration party, honey.
Do it. I said give it to the people. So I said give it to y'all free. Come on. Make it make sense. Blah, blah, blah. All the houses. I told y'all to put on tax. So we bring on it. Trustee house, trustee hour.
This is literally discussion over amendment to a bill list. She took over the discussion. She said, any discussion, well, I'm going to start it like this. And the attorney didn't whisper to her and say, don't do that. Let them speak first and then you speak, because that's the pragmatic thing to do. Her attorneys are some pussies.
People get houses for $5,000. Back the block. If you live on the block, you live next door to an empty house, it's your house. But yet y'all keep saying that. Why? Y'all gotta say time out for the nonsense and say, you know what, I'm gonna do something right for change. I'm gonna make this vote. I'm gonna show people that I really wanna build Dalton up. And that's why I'm thankful for Trustee Brown.
I'm not gonna try to break down and make sense out of what she said, but she said if you live on a block and you live next door to an empty house, it's your house. She's
a Trustee homes, because they only two that always look out for people no matter what. And I thought that my team.
I think she's getting tired. I think she's wearing herself out. I think the cocaine has peaked. She gotta like snort through her pinky finger or something. Cause I believe she take a good old BB King hit before she starts speaking. Who goes on that long? Who? Nobody.
Stop calling fake news for every little thing.
She tired.
Stop. I ain't never seen nobody that want their town to be in the negative all the time. Never in my life. But it's cool. I'm built for this. Because at the end of the day, this too shall pass. We have 1 year. One year.
And let me let you know that what you just heard was her admitting that there was a deficit. Now, if you want me to go back and play it in regular speed so you can hear it real slow, I will let you do that. Oh, you want it? You want to hear what she just said all over again so that you can hear her admit to there being a deficit? Well, let me continue first, and then we'll go back.
Seats are back up. And know that I'm going to campaign hard. Y'all know that because I make sure y'all won y'all seats. So y'all know what I'm going to do.
She says she made sure they won their seats. Well, let's break that down. How did they all get more votes than her?
But at the end of the day, just stop, guys. I'm ready to build our town. I'm still building it while y'all trying to tear it down. How does that look? We can at least look like one band, one sound as we move up here on the board like they do in the other.
Y'all, stop letting this lady say that because that makes her sound really ignorant and unprofessional. Nobody inside of a corporate governmental leadership setting outside of like the manager at Radio Shack says one band, one sound. You don't say, this is not a band. This is a village. They're not coming up with a sound. They are trying to be profitable. When I worked at New Birth, it started catching my attention when the leadership started teaching more about unity and not standing out. And then I moved to China, and they had this saying that the squeaky wheel gets cut off. They would have the kids play this little game where they had to stand in a line, and if anybody's head poked up, it got beat. Because they had to learn how to be unified and not speak out and not say nothing and not have any adverse opinion. They're not even taught how to have an adverse opinion. When you speak to most Asian children from Asian countries and you ask them if they like or dislike something, they can't articulate their dislike. They're not allowed to. This is what she's trying to do here. She's trying to religiousize, cultivize, create a cultural revolution in Dalton. Even at the beginning of this meeting, Chief Collins, who I have very small amount of respect for, because while I've heard that he's a stand-up guy, I did see him at the beginning of this meeting manipulate people into not speaking out by saying, oh, although there's freedom of speech in America, all speech isn't free, but then not go into a very detailed lecture about what that means and what instances apply. Because I went to college to understand it. But I'm not going to sit here and tell people all speech isn't free and not give them the details of what they can say, when, where, how, and why legally inside this political legal forum. No, he gives a blanket statement to scare people into thinking they're going to be sued for speaking against the mayor. Chief Collins, that was some bullshit. That was some pussy ass shit. You owe an apology to the people of Dalton for the ways in which you manipulated them. You don't start off a meeting and start off a citizen's address as the chief of police by telling people, oh, just so you know, all speech isn't free, so be careful what you say. Fuck you, nigga. You deserve what you got. You helped this woman culturally imprison these people. You helped her. You helped her, Chief Collins. You get what the fuck you get. Ain't no honor among motherfucking thieves. That's what you get. What you got is what you get. I don't know how you expected that woman to ever treat you well, and you helped her mistreat the people of Dalton. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You were there when she installed Lacey as deputy chief. You knew that nigga wasn't shit. Yes, you did. Come on, somebody. Let her continue. Ugh. And then I'm going to let y'all hear the whole thing so you can hear the admittance to, yeah, we going to have to hear that, but I got to speed through this for a second.
They fight all day long in the back, but when they get up here, they act like they all get along.
I'm going to speed through this and get to Tangenique, and then we'll go back and listen to what the mayor said. Yes, we will. We're still going to speed through some of that shit, but we definitely going to hear the confession.
We can do the same thing. If people stop trying to act like they me, y'all can run for my seat. I ran. One by landslide. To approve bills time.
Okay. Now I want to mention this before we go back and listen to her full confession, because you heard the mention of a deficit. Now, you will hear Tangenique never deny that there's a deficit. You will hear Tangenique say the bills that haven't been paid are why there are issues. Okay? And you'll also hear Tangenique repeat some of the things you heard the mayor say about the Prompt Act. Now, if they weren't prepped for this meeting, how is she parroting what this person who sits in the mayor's seat says?
Good evening. So I want to discuss the outstanding checks that were mentioned. So starting back to October 2022, the board's refusal to approve bills timely, violating the prompt payment laws, have created a huge backlog of payments. The backlog totaling over $1 million.
Let me stop here. The backlog totals over $1 million. So what they're doing right now is admitting that there is a deficit. But they're saying the reason why there's a deficit is because the board wasn't approving bills back in October 2022. That's about when the gridlock started. That was about when they started becoming a little bit more stern. I have actually posted videos from November 2022 and the conversation that took place there with Ed Steves. And that was about when she blamed, that was when she said Jason House got arrested the first time. By the FBI. But you hear her, Tangenique, who uses the resume of someone named Audrenique Miller. You hear her mention $1.3 million in a backlog of payments. And now they're trying to blame this on the board. Well, Jason House just said there's been plenty of payments that were approved that haven't been paid. So where's the money in the general fund?
Close to 1.6 million. The prompt payment loss.
Where's the accurate number though? Close to 1.6 million. So you can spin the tail, and the trustees are still being very diplomatic and allowing them to lie in public when they know that they've seen that these bills have been approved for payment and they haven't been paid, but the general fund is being depleted. How? Let's continue.
Upon receipt of an invoice, payments must be approved within 30 days. With the board's refusal to approve invoices, it's caused significant delays in issuing those payments timely. For instance, 5-Star, who we have 8 checks here that the board, the trustee House is refusing to sign.
8 checks. Why? Why do you have 8 checks that trustee House is refusing to sign? Why are there 8 checks to pay one vendor? Why are there 8 checks to pay one bill? What new procedure are you trying to put in place by making them comfortable with doing things against the procedure? And those 8 checks are not causing a $1.3 million deficit and what's actually closer to 3.
And I have them here where you can pass them and sign them. The invoice were passed in July. The checks are dated July 17th, so they are not sent out to the vendor because they have not been signed.
No, Tangenique, Audrenique Miller. The invoices were approved in July for one payment. When Trustee House and Trustee Brown, Tammy Brown, and Clerk Key went to approve and sign the checks, you broke them down into multiple payments, and there's still no understanding as to why. And there were other payments that were approved to be made, that still are outstanding. Why? But the general fund is steady being depleted. Why?
What else related to those invoices? Since October, that was 7 months. This is 8 checks. July would have been that 8th check. So the checks are broken down into 8 payments, and we would like for you to pay them by signing and stop refusing to pay this vendor.
All right, so just to sum up what she said, you guys need to sign the checks. I don't even understand why Clerk Key didn't sign.
Why does Tiffany Henyard feel the need to sum up what the finance director just said? That's the finance director. You don't need to sum up what she said. She's the final word. Or do you not understand that? Or do you just feel like talking some more? God damn.
Check. So you and Trustee House need to sign the checks that was passed by this board and by a 4-1 or 4-2 vote or something like that. But I just know it passed. That's when Tammy Brown jumped ship and voted to pay the bills. So then, therefore, she asked for her friends to get paid. We put it on the next warrant list, which it was approved.
I want you to think about this for a second. Your mayor is sitting here in a lime green pantsuit, a highlighter green, a neon green pantsuit, a stripper green pantsuit. This is your mayor sitting here in a Midwest mayor in a lime green pantsuit. This is not the AVN Awards. What the fuck?
To get paid, and Trustee House is refusing to sign. This is why you guys don't govern. This is why you guys don't have check signing powers. Because at the end of the day, it is up to the mayor, the administration, as relates to the day to day. But you guys hijacked the bank account too. I need the residents to know that. So that's what I mean by I'm gonna sue y'all for that too. You in the bank, because it took forever to get on the bank, but y'all did some little secret squirrel stuff and went to Orland and got on the account.
Now she says she's 25-0, and she did file a lawsuit about that. And you know what the judge said? They're not doing nothing wrong. For now, go ahead and pay the payroll, because she tried to stop the trustees from getting their own payroll during this time. The judge said the mayor must approve the warrant list. Whatever goes on the warrant list must be approved by the mayor. Now, whatever is paid on the warrant list still must be approved by the board. Okay? But all payroll gets paid. That's what the judge said. No, she did not win that case. Bitch, you so stupid.
Which is a shame, but it's okay. Every dog has.
She's still not on the bank account. They took her off the bank account. She sued. She's still not on the bank account. That's not 25-0. I'm sorry. I know numbers and letters.
Say that. But I just want you guys to know y'all need to sign the check, Trustee House, because it's not up to you to dictate how things are paid out, when it's paid out. Your jobs are to vote on bills and make laws. That is it. And for the record, for those that don't know, when you pass a budget, you do know that you voted for everything we do up here, every single board meeting. We just make it into a warrant list to tell you what we have done with the fund.
Now she gonna act like she's doing the board a favor by having a warrant list. No, that's an ordinance. There's an ordinance that says things must be approved by the board via a warrant list. That's what they use in this municipality. She gonna tell the trustees how to do government. And for months, she told the trustees how to do government. Until the trustees finally said, no, our job is to regulate the finances of the village. For months, she told them they were overstepping their bounds, and they weren't.
Whether it's public works, whether it's police, whether it's fire, we write it down to tell you. But the budget that you pass is for the entire year.
Check her logic.
Nobody's supposed to come to you every single time like, can I buy a pen? Hey, can I buy some tissue? It doesn't work like that.
Now, y'all probably remember that video that I posted where she was like, got a new cup too. She's also bought $17,000 worth of roller skates, $83,000 worth of $850,000 worth of concrete for an ice skating rink and a roller skating rink that is not accessed by the public and doesn't bring any money into the village. $150,000 for a Tahoe. Another $150,000 for Keith Freeman's Tahoe. These are things she doesn't have to get approval from the board for because they're in the budget. $90,000 for some fucking ghetto fucking ass, cellophane looking ass, food cover ass, Jerry curl cover cap, bubbles. $90,000. $65,000 for Christmas lights. $20,000 for banners throughout the city with her face on them. I think $180,000 for billboards. These are things she thinks that she doesn't have to ask the board for approval for. Not $10 for toilet paper. Nobody minds you going to office supply store and getting ink. But even those things have to be approved. Yes, they do. Check her logic. This is all the confession you need, feds. Can you please lock her up?
That runs big corporation understand exactly what I'm saying, and you guys should too. So I want to point out to you guys on how you guys are making this out to be, and it don't have to be this way. All right. Go ahead. Who want to go first?
Okay. If I could be recognized now.
Go ahead, trustee.
Okay, so there's so much in there. But I'm going to just kind of go to my original statement, which is there are bills that are out there that have been previously approved, still not being paid. The 5-star invoice that we're talking about was approved for full payment. I have repeatedly said, because as the mayor mentioned, she says, we have the money. We got grants. We have all of this money. Please put that into one check, which is what the board voted for, or a majority of the board voted for, and pay it. I will gladly sign it if you put it in one check and pay it. I don't understand why it's broken down in 8 checks specifically, since you say we have all the money. So my stance on these bills is saying at this moment, let's hold off on the bills that are mentioned so we can catch up on the previous bills, put it in one check, and it will be signed. I have no problem signing that. Furthermore, as you mentioned, past due in terms of public works, those people have been waiting for 4 years to get their raise and everything else. Yet we see fit to put all these other items on the warrant list and pay and overlook the same people that you claim are working very hard. I think that should be a priority to make sure those individuals are paid. As those are paid, I will gladly revisit this list. But as you say, if we have the money, you got the money, you go get the bag. So let's make sure all of these checks are issued. I can't even dignify a lot of the other mess because that's really what I chalk it up to is mess. But if, in terms of a resolution, please put the items in one check as the board or majority of the board voted for. It will be signed. And also, please reimburse 4 years of hard works by the Public Works Department. If those items are done, we can revisit these future items, and that way we will know that there is money actually in the account. Because as I'm looking at the financials, last year we had a fiscal deficit of $2.5 million.
Come back. Listen very closely. He's looking at the financials that he has access to in September of 2023. Okay? He is mentioning a deficit. Tiffany Henyard has previously denied that there was a deficit. Now she admits there is a deficit, but blames it on the trustees for not paying the bills. We'll go back and watch her entire confession together. I wanted to get past all of what she said first so you could hear what Tangenique and Jason said. We'll go back and listen to what she said, but it's important to hear what they said first, because she can exhaust your mentality to where you can't digest anything else after that. So we're going to go back and listen to her confession, but I do want them to speak first because she took over the discussion when they should have spoken first.
This year we are 3 months into works by the Public Works Department. If those items are done, we can revisit these future items, and that way we will know that there is money actually in the account. Because as I'm looking at the financials, last year we had a fiscal deficit of $2.5 million. This year we are 3 months into the fiscal year. Page 15 of the financials shows a $2.6 million deficit. Again, there are serious challenges that we are facing, can be facing, and these items are getting further and further behind, and yet we're pushing new items on the board asking us to pay for it. I will restate one more time.
Do you remember Stan Brown's face after he read that $3 million corporate payment? When he pulled his face in and looked like a politician that had been caught in sexual misconduct? You know that face they make? He realized they're spending more and more money. Every month these bills get harder and harder to read. Every month these numbers get higher and higher. That comma gets pushed further and further. More and more digits. He realized it. He knows that what Jason House is saying is correct. And if he doesn't open his mouth and speak, I'm going to send karma by his house. in the middle of the night.
Please put all items in one check. I will sign it. I put that in email. I will do it in smoke signals if you need to see it. One check, it'll get signed. It's that simple. Thank you.
All right, please stop with the smoke screens, for real. I need you to pay the people their money. It's not up to you to pick and choose how we pay. Tangenique, the finance director, just explained to you how you guys got the bill to be up so high. Because
Now, when she says how you guys, now we may not need to go back and watch her speak because she's again double downing on her confession. Let me see. Let me remember how this plays out because we might not need to go back and watch all the foolishness she said because that was about 9 or 10 minutes of dumb shit. I don't usually put up with dumb shit for that long. Like I don't have a tolerance for dumb shit. But she's saying the bill, that how you guys got the bill that high, that's code word for the deficit. She doesn't actually come out and call it a deficit here. She calls it, Tangenique calls it a backlog of expenditures. She calls it the bill. But what she's talking about is what Jason House has just identified as a $2.6 million deficit. And Tangenique Miller / Audrenique Miller, whoever's real resume that is she's using, has identified it as a $1.6 million deficit. So in this conversation, we've identified that it's somewhere between $1.6 and $2.6 million in a deficit. And she says it's because they won't pay the bills.
single meeting, you guys took people out. Anybody that pay their bills regular, know that if you keep taking the bill or keep putting the bill off each month and another month and another month, guess what? It's going to add up to $1 million. It's going to add up to $2 million because you guys chose not to pay anyone. So now we're playing catch up with certain vendors because you guys chose not to pay anyone for several months. You're out of order, trustee. You're out of order.
Because she's lying.
It's up to you to sign the checks how the finance department sent them out to you. And that vendor don't even have a problem with how we're paying him. He even reached out to you, trustee. And for the record, you get the bank account every day. You know what balance we got. You know how much money we got. So stop playing games and sign the check that they voted on at the last meeting that you choosing not to sign. So you're holding up progress. It's not your trustee house. Matter of fact, what them checks at? Give them checks. You sign them checks, trustee. And then Clerk Key sign the checks. That's what y'all need to do because we voted on this already. It's illegal for you guys not to sign the checks. I got them right here.
She gonna just make them sign the checks or what?
Yeah. Give trustee house the check so you can sign them checks right now in front of these people. We ain't gonna stop playing these games. We gonna call a spade a spade. There you go. You sign all the checks right there. All them checks that you did not sign is right there for you and the clerk key signature. Which I don't.
Now, do you see Lacey passing those over like the bailiff? Lacey, that's Lacey. Lacey, the blood is on your hands too, baby.
Understand why she ain't signing checks because at the end of the day, Clerk Key, you say I sign when the board votes for it. The board voted on it. Why you ain't signed? Because you're following Jason. This nonsense. You're following Max. Stop following Max. It's gonna lead you in a rabbit hole. Don't say I didn't tell you. Okay, make sure you sign. Yeah, pass out them checks when you're done, trustee out, so she can put her signature on that too. I am worried about what you do because you're holding up progress. And I need you to take care of them FOIAs. Please stay in your lane. Thank you. This lane too fast. Thank you. So next, go ahead, Tangenique. You say whatever you wanted to say now. Oh, I said it already? Okay. All right, go ahead. Who else?
To be recognized.
Go ahead, Trustee Norwood.
We saw the discussion, correct?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First, Mayor, you sit
I
up
hope
here
y'all
and
saw
you mentioned smoke.
I hope you guys saw him pass those checks back. Now, before Trustee Norwood speaks, because what she has to say is very important, but it may not necessarily be contributory to the finance conversation. She's going to summarize what has already been said. I'm going to go back and we're going to listen to Tiffany Henyard's rant. It's long, but you're going to listen to her. I wanted you guys to hear Tangenique and Jason House speak first. Okay? Because of course Tangenique said mostly everything that Tiffany said in bullet points. The same lies, the same gaslighting, the same misleading statements. Tangenique is calling it a backlog of expenditures. Tiffany is calling it a bill. Jason House is calling it what it is, a deficit. But I want us to go back and listen to her actually describe how this came to be from her perspective, and then we will let it continue and listen to Trustee Norwood. I'm going to go back. Lord, this woman talks for a long fucking time, too.
Second.
It's been motion second. Any discussion? So I'm gonna start like this. It's a shame that you guys come to these board meetings and sit here and take people out of the warrant list to be paid. The things that you just named, Trustee House, is services to the residents of Dalton. Speaking of all the vacant property that get cut by those vendors as we speak now. When people call in and ask us to cut down trees, to trim blocks, to maintenance lawns, to get rid of the squatters and the vacants, that's bushes and trees all around houses, it's a shame that you sit here and directly pick out certain vendors. Because why?
Be recognized?
Yeah, you're gonna be recognized. But I just want to know why. So just keep these in mind. Why? Why would you do such a thing like that? Every board meeting we gotta come here and fight over paying vendors that did the work. We owe them the money. You do know it's a prompt act, right? You gotta pay vendors. You have to pay them when they do the work. You guys gotta stop doing this. And I don't understand how any of you other trustees would sit here on mute and not even pay anybody. Trustee Norwood, Trustee Tammy Brown, and Trustee Kiana Belcher. It's a shame that all y'all will follow that and keep voting down people pay. We have been through this long enough. And for the record, Trustee House, you need to sign the checks. It's checks that you have not signed because you want to sit here and pick out people that you do not want to pay because of your own personal reason. That's unacceptable. You guys supposed to legislate. I govern the town. When y'all get that in your head of who does what, you guys will move differently here in the village. So now when people call tomorrow and ask for trees to be cut down, when they ask for lawn care service, when they ask for things such as services, what are we to tell them because the board don't want to pay vendors? And it's the same issue we have with the roof and window program. You guys don't want to pay the vendors so that residents can get their roof fixed, their windows done. It's a shame. So what's the point of making plans and you guys keep stopping progress? Residents need to wake up and pay attention because it's time to get rid of people like you that sit on these boards that's basically a bench warmer and not doing the work. Y'all don't do nothing the entire season, but then you come here and want to dictate who gets paid, when they get paid, how they get paid. It's not up to you. You're not the finance department. How many times I gotta keep telling y'all that? Y'all do not govern the town. You make laws. Go do what y'all supposed to do, which is make laws, make ordinances. Y'all not doing that. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, y'all do it when it affects Tiffany Henyard, right? But you don't do what's right for the people. Go do something like that, and y'all not doing it. Y'all go and y'all just sit here and y'all come to every single board meeting and choose not to pay people. That's not right, guys. They have a whole family to feed too, just like y'all. But y'all think it's okay. That's not okay. So vendors, if you're watching this and you see what's going on in the village of Dalton, y'all should see these trustees and make sure you check them when you see them on the street about your money. Because at the end of the day, y'all got houses to feed. Y'all got families to feed. And it's a shame that they got to come to every board meeting when they be obsolete for the entire season. Y'all don't do nothing. But then you come here because y'all get to vote on people money on paying them. But then y'all ask questions about, well, can we do this, Tiffany? Like, what do you mean? I don't understand. First rule of business is handle your business. You guys are sitting here making a mockery out of the village. Y'all making where vendors don't want to come and do any work here in the village. And that's a shame. Because I think we're doing an awesome job here in the village. But you guys keep stopping it every single time. So now those, especially on the west side where you live, Brittany, where people cutting down the trees and now they can see light, now they can see to the end of the block, you should not be not voting for it to pay the vendors to clean up the west side of town. And I'm telling that to the residents so they can see what you're doing, because you're following people. Stop being a follower and lead sometimes. So my issue right now is that all y'all get together and do the same thing every single time. And I'm going to make sure that we put everything on the record today, because today's the day. We're going to let the finance department tell you what y'all ain't been doing. And all these emails that you send back about nothing, but you ain't moving no mountains. My team, my administration, we go out, we go get the money, and this is what y'all do. We go get grant money. We go get everything that we need here in the village that y'all never got ever. We the only administration that's doing sidewalks, when before y'all did 50-50, right? We the only administration that's actually doing alleys. Y'all never did alleys in the history of Dalton, ever. We the only ones making sure y'all streets get paved. We making sure that trees get trimmed. We making sure we clear out the vacancies. We taking care of all the business, right? All the business. While y'all just sit there. But we doing the work. We getting all the lashes, all the negative stuff, and positive. So thank you to my residents that love what we're doing. Thank you to Trustee Stan Brown. Thank you to Trustee Andrew Holmes. And the only two trustees that always support the residents here and vote for what's right and what's needed in the community. Y'all got to wake up, man. Y'all got to stop being followers and actually do the work. And it's a shame how y'all sit here and take things out. When last board meeting, y'all, let me remind the people, last board meeting, y'all wanted y'all friends to get paid, right? Y'all friends was on that warrant list, right? Your friends was on there, tea with the trustee. Y'all spending $1,500, $2,000 for tea with the trustee for food for 1 hour to talk about politics. Come on now. That ain't what we do. But y'all want that to get paid, but y'all voted for it and approved it. But y'all, if y'all gonna tell it, tell the residents what it really is. Y'all supposed to use y'all own money, because y'all always say, we pay for it. Yo, y'all don't. We got invoices for every single tea with the trustee to pay them back pay. But y'all telling the truth to the people, right? But y'all didn't tell that last board meeting, right? But let's tell it, since we telling them the truth today, right? So, Tangenique, I'm going to let you talk to them about the things of bills and how bills get backed up because people choose not to pay. And then also, too, some of y'all should consider trustees. Y'all do know we pass contracts here, right? Police, working on fire now, and public works. Y'all do know that adds to the expenses. So their salaries is not what it used to be. So that means it's going to increase. So what are you doing to bring revenue in here, trustees? Because at the end of the day, our expenses have increased. So I want y'all to know that and make sure you make adjustments for that while you're sitting here voting things down. Because public works can't do it all. And they've been doing a doggone good job by us making sure everybody else is taking care of the business, which is the people that's cutting the trees. They don't have to worry about cutting trees. People been waiting over 30 years for a tree to be trimmed. Come on, man. Y'all should see them trees. Ridiculous. It took me to become the mayor to actually straighten it out, to fix it. And I would hope, and I would have thought my team that I ran with, Trustee House, Trustee Belcher, never again, that I ran with to get them in their seats, that they will vote for, meaning progress, because that's what we ran on, progress. But I'm the only one putting out progress. All y'all doing is just talking, running your mouths, ain't doing nothing. And then when we get to a board meeting, you want to vote stuff down. That's sad, guys. And I don't know what little group that y'all go to that's group y'all on telling y'all doing right. Y'all not. Y'all not winning. I'm telling y'all that now. Every lawsuit y'all put out, y'all lost. Wasting taxpayer money. All because of hatred. Y'all got to stop leading with hatred. Stop leading with that. Because at the end of the day, all y'all have been in my house. So if we sitting here breaking bread together, why can't we sit here and make sure that we take care of the residents? Because we all was on the same team. All. Because the trustee house was going to win, you would have ran with Riley, right? The mayor. But he didn't. Because he knew I was going to win. Trustee Belcher never won none in her life. But she won when I took you, right? So I'm just pointing out to you that how everybody use me to run for office, but get here and then act like they don't remember what we said we was going to do. So when you hear me say what I'm doing, because I'm still producing, I'm still keeping the promises that we made to the people, which is take care of the people, not take care of yourselves and y'all friends. That's what this is all about, right? That's why y'all upset, right? Y'all need to get yourself in order. For real.
May I be recognized?
Because this is the end. You can get recognized after Tangenique speaks. But I just want y'all to know that I'm upset about how y'all keep running the village, because at the end of the day, you just come here to place a vote. but you actually don't see the hard work of those families that actually get up every single day and put out for our city. They make sure they come and cut down every tree, every complaint. They're here every day. And you guys think it's cute to sit here and take them out of the list. And then, if y'all got questions, again, I always tell y'all this, call my phone. Nobody calls me, right? Because we want to get here and grandstand, put on the show for what? For what? I'm tired of it, guys. I wish y'all would do better, because I know I want better. Y'all should want better. At the end of the day, don't be upset about nothing, because at the end of the day, when you got faith on your life, nothing y'all can do about it. Everything y'all try to do to me, guess what? Fail. So all I'm asking y'all is, come on. Let's kumbaya now. Let's get together and actually be.
At this point, she has talked for 10 minutes. 10 minutes at this point.
Built down like it should be. Every single person loves Greenwood Falls. Everybody. Everybody. So all I'm saying to y'all is come help me build it instead of trying to tear it down. That's stuff for the youth. Trustee Nora, y'all talking about kids, right? I never see you with kids, ever. So all I'm saying to y'all is like, y'all saying all these things, but y'all not producing anything. But y'all go run over there with the park. Y'all should be ashamed of y'allselves. Getting up at press conference, talking about nothing. Learn the laws. I tell y'all that all the time. Learn from me. But because I'm younger than all y'all think y'all can't learn from me, huh? But guess what? I've been winning. So I'm just telling y'all need to learn for real. And stop wasting the taxpayer dollars with lawsuits, with things that we should not be doing. Because at the end of the day, guess who's paying for it? The taxpayers. All that money, all these things that y'all just wasteful spending for no reason, it's a shame. Y'all should stop. Because it's not y'all money. I heard y'all got sued too, right? 300 West Sibley. Y'all don't want to pay that man his money so he can build out his stuff. Y'all do know he won his lawsuit and the village has to pay out, correct? But yet y'all still doing the same thing. That's shameful. And I was going to put cases on y'all. I still am, though. For all the things y'all been doing, all the illegal stuff y'all been doing. I'm still going to do that, but he beat me to the punch as it relates to y'all keep holding up people that have been fighting for years, just to get what's owed to them, for what's right. And y'all still making a mockery of this village. Come on, man. The time is now to change. And as someone said earlier, change is hard. Change is difficult. I get it. But change is needed, especially in our neighborhood, the black and brown communities. I go get the money, and then y'all don't want to spend the money. What kind of mess is that? I'm the only mayor that's bringing in grant money, right? I'm the only mayor that got the most grant money out of everybody in the state of Illinois. But yet, you guys want to sit here and dictate what we do, and I said give it to the people. But y'all said give it to y'all friends. Come on. Make it make sense. Block by block. All the houses. I told y'all, let's put them on the tax roll. We ran on that trustee house, Trustee Belcher. We ran on it. That we was going to make a program that people get houses for $1. People get houses for $5,000. Buy back the block. If you live on the block, you live next door to an empty house, it's your house. But yet, y'all keep saying no. Why? Y'all got to say time out for the nonsense and say, you know what? I'm going to do something right for a change. I'm going to make this vote. I'm going to show people that I really want to build Dalton up. And that's why I'm thankful for Trustee Brown and Trustee Holmes, because they the only two that always look out for the people, no matter what. And I thought that my team that I ran with would have been the same way. But yet they got their own hidden agenda. I went in the seat 2 weeks before y'all backstabbed me. So all I'm saying now is, okay, it's over with. Y'all did all y'all dirt. Now let's go. Let's build. That's what I need y'all to do. And tell the truth to the people. Stop lying to them. Stop making fake, I call it fake news. Stop calling fake news for every little thing. Stop. I ain't never seen nobody that want their town to be in the negative all the time. Never in my life. But it's cool. I'm built for this. Because at the end of the day, this too shall pass. We have 1 year, and y'all seats are back up. And know that I'm going to campaign hard. Y'all know that because I make sure y'all want y'all seats. So y'all know what I'm going to do. But at the end of the day, just stop, guys. I'm ready to build our town. I'm still building it while y'all trying to tear it down. How does that look? We can at least look like one band, one sound as we move up here on the board like they do in other communities. They fight all day long in the back. But when they get up here They act like they all get along. We can do the same thing. If people stop trying to act like they me, Trustee House, y'all didn't run for my seat. I ran. Won by landslide, let me remind you, 82%.
If y'all haven't caught it yet after 14 minutes of speaking, this is literally Tiffany Henyard admitting that there is a deficit. You got to read through the lines because she's playing Gemini games. But this is literally her admitting that there is a deficit. She's going to turn it over to Tangenique Miller to explain why. Blame it on the trustees. And then Jason House is going to clear it up. I just had to break it in a little bit because she's tough to listen to. I'll let her continue. Jesus.
For those that don't know, please put some respect on my name.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I'm just tired of the nonsense. Y'all, I didn't earn where I sit. I won every single election. From trustee of 2013, the trustee of 2017, to the first female African-American mayor of Dalton. Respect. To now the first female African-American youngest supervisor in the state of Illinois. Y'all don't even understand the history and the moments that y'all had before y'all that y'all too big trying to tear down. Shame on y'all. Y'all should go talk to y'all elders and they'll teach y'all something. Because guess who was in our time? Reverend Jesse Jackson. He understands history. He understands this moment. Some things only come once in a lifetime. And you guys are ruining it as it relates to y'all want so much attention that you rather put negative on the positivity, on the light, the beacon of light that I'm holding over dog. I'm preaching to y'all today, and I'm trying to ask y'all to stop. Because if I could forgive y'all, even though y'all don't like me, I get it, it's cool. But I'm okay with work with y'all, because at the end of the day, we got to work together. Tangenique, you have the floor.
Good evening. So I want to discuss the outstanding checks that were mentioned. So starting back to October 2022, the board's refusal to approve bills timely, violating the prompt payment laws, have created a huge backlog of payments. The backlog totaling over $1 million, close to 1.6 million. The prompt payment law states upon receipt of an invoice, payments must be approved within 30 days. With the board's refusal to approve invoices, it's caused significant delays in issuing those payments timely. For instance, 5 Star, who we have 8 checks here that the board, the trustee house is refusing to sign. And I have them here where you can pass them and sign them. The invoice were passed in July. The checks are dated July 17th, so they are not sent out to the vendor because they have not been signed. What else related to those invoices? Since October, that was 7 months. This is 8 checks. July would have been that 8th check. So the checks are broken down into 8 payments, and we would like for you to pay them by signing and stop refusing to pay this vendor.
All right, so just to sum up what she said, you guys need to sign the checks. I don't even understand why Clerk Key didn't sign the check. So you and Trustee House need to sign the checks that was passed by this board, and by a 4-1 or 4-2 vote or something like that. But I just know it passed. That's when Trustee Tammy Brown jumped ship and voted to pay the bills. So then, therefore, she asked for her friends to get paid. We put it on the next warrant list, which it was approved to get paid, and Trustee House is refusing to sign. This is why you guys don't govern. This is why you guys don't have check signing powers. Because at the end of the day, it is up to the mayor, the administration, as relates to the day-to-day. But you guys hijacked the bank account, too. I need the residents to know that. So that's what I mean by, I'm going to sue y'all for that, too. You in the bank, because it took forever to get on the bank, but y'all did some little secret squirrel stuff and went to Orland and got on the account, which is a shame, but it's okay. Every dog has their day. But I just want you guys to know y'all need to sign the check, Trustee House, because it's not up to you to dictate how things are paid out, when it's paid out. Your jobs are to vote on bills and make laws. That is it. And for the record, for those that don't know, when you pass a budget, you do know that you voted for everything we do up here, every single board meeting. We just make it into a warrant list to tell you what we have done with the funds, whether it's public works, whether it's police, whether it's fire. We write it down to tell you, but the budget that you pass is for the entire year. Nobody's supposed to come to you every single time and be like, can I buy a pen? Hey, can I buy some tissue? It doesn't work like that. Anybody that runs big corporation understand exactly what I'm saying, and you guys should too. So I want to point out to you guys on how you guys are making this out to be, and it don't have to be this way. All right. Go ahead. Who want to go first?
Okay. If I could be recognized now.
Go ahead, trustee.
Okay, so there's so much in there. But I'm going to just kind of go to my original statement, which is there are bills that are out there that have been previously approved, still not being paid. The 5-star invoice that we're talking about was approved for full payment. I have repeatedly said, because as the mayor mentioned, she says, we have the money. We got grants. We have all of this money. Please put that into one check, which is what the board voted for, or a majority of the board voted for, and pay it. I will gladly sign it if you put it in one check and pay it. I don't understand why it's broken down in 8 checks specifically, since you say we have all the money. So my stance on these bills is saying at this moment, let's hold off on the bills that are mentioned so we can catch up on the previous bills, put it in one check, and it will be signed. I have no problem signing that. Furthermore, as you mentioned, past due in terms of public works, those people have been waiting for 4 years to get their raise and everything else. Yet we see fit to put all these other items on the warrant list and pay and overlook the same people that you claim are working very hard. I think that should be a priority to make sure those individuals are paid. As those are paid, I will gladly revisit this list. But as you say, if we have the money, you got the money, you go get the bag. So let's make sure all of these checks are issued. I can't even dignify a lot of the other mess because that's really what I chalk it up to is mess. But if in terms of a resolution, please put the items in one check as the board or majority of the board voted for. It will be signed. And also please reimburse 4 years of hard works by the Public Works Department. If those items are done, we can revisit these future items, and that way we will know that there is money actually in the account. Because as I'm looking at the financials, last year we had a fiscal deficit of $2.5 million. This year we are 3 months into the fiscal year. Page 15 of the financials shows a $2.6 million deficit. Again, there are serious challenges that we are facing, can be facing, and these items are getting further and further behind, and yet we're pushing new items on the board asking us to pay for it. I will restate one more time. Please put all items in one check. I will sign it. I put that in email. I will do it in smoke signals if you need to see it. One check, it'll get signed. It's that simple. Thank you.
All right, please stop with the smoke screens for real. I need you to pay the people their money. It's not up to you to pick and choose how we pay. Tangenique, the finance director, just explained to you how you guys got the bill to be up so high. Because every single meeting, you guys took people out. Anybody that pay their bills regular, know that if you keep taking the bill or keep putting the bill off each month and another month and another month, guess what? It's going to add up to $1 million. It's going to add up to $2 million because you guys chose not to pay anyone. So now we're playing catch up with certain vendors because you guys chose not to pay anyone for several months. You out of order, trustee. You out of order. So it's up to you to sign the checks how the finance department sent them out to you. And that vendor don't even have a problem with how we're paying him. He even reached out to you, trustee. And for the record, you get the bank account every day. You know what balance we got. You know how much money we got. So stop playing games and sign the check that they voted on at the last meeting that you choosing not to sign. So you're holding up progress. It's not your trustee house. Matter of fact, where them checks at? Give them checks. You sign them checks, trustee. And then Clerk Key sign the checks. That's what y'all need to do because we voted on this already. It's illegal for you guys not to sign the checks. I got them right here. Where they at? Give Trustee House the check so you can sign them checks right now in front of these people. We ain't gonna stop playing these games. We gonna call a spade a spade. There you go. You can sign all the checks right there. All them checks that you did not sign is right there for you and the Clerk Key signature, which I don't understand why she ain't signing checks. Because at the end of the day, Clerk Key, you said I sign when the board votes for it. The board voted on it. Why you ain't signed? Because you're following Jason. This nonsense. You're following Matt. Stop following Matt. It's gonna lead you in a rabbit hole. Don't say I didn't tell you. Okay, make sure you sign. Yeah, pass her them checks when you're done, Trustee House, so she can put her signature on that too. I am worried about what you do because you're holding up progress. And I need you to take care of them foils. Please stay in your lane. Thank you. This lane too fast. Thank you. So next, go ahead, Tajani. You say whatever you wanted to say now. Oh, I said it already? Okay. All right, go ahead. Who else?
I recognize.
Go ahead, Trustee Norwood.
We still in discussion, correct?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First, Mayor, you sit up here and you mentioned smoke, which that's exactly what we're doing with you in this administration. Smoke and mirrors. You sit here and you tell everybody their job. Your job is this. If we weren't responsible for the finances, we wouldn't need to approve them. If you need our approval, it means we're responsible for the finances. So technically, that is our job. You mentioned me following. If you were a great leader, I would follow. There are ordinances put in place. Your job as the executive branch is to enforce the ordinances, not to tell us what the ordinance is. I'm quite aware of the ordinance. The ordinance states that anything over $5,000 should be presented in front of the board. That's what the ordinance states. So when you have things on here, 25,000, 80,000, that sounds like it's over the $5,000 threshold.
Now, let me mention something, and I appreciate what Trustee Norwood is saying here. In a very recent interview that Trustee Belcher and Trustee Tammy Brown did, they mentioned that the threshold was $1,500. And I put in the comments, I thought the threshold was $5,000. And here it's being confirmed that the threshold is $5,000. So anything over $5,000. And we saw in the very beginning of Tiffany Henyard's tenure as mayor, she was presenting bills that were under $5,000, but it would be like $1,799 plus $25 or $35, whatever the balance is, in a different invoice, but it was for the same exact vendor. So she was sneaking it in. She was splitting stuff up that was well over $5,000. So let me give you a better example. For the inauguration, she would do stuff like make sure the videographer charged $4,600. Make sure the barbecue is only $3,700. Make sure the tables are only $2,700. Well, that's over $5,000. And she and her attorney were saying that because each invoice was less than $5,000, she didn't need approval. Well, for some reason, there wasn't any kind of dictatorial, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for it. Ordinance. There wasn't a dictatorial ordinance that really fleshed out how that money could be used. She really thought if there was a $5,000 budget, she could spend it. And as long as each thing, I don't think she really thought that, because that wasn't what she held the former mayor accountable to, but that's the dumb she tried to play. So I appreciate that that Trustee Brittany Norwood is saying this, because not only has she gone over the $5,000 at this point, but she came in playing with that $5,000 number. Now she just balls to the walls and don't give a fuck. She's taking her mask off at this point. But when she first came in, she was doing that little sneaky stuff.
To me. So that means that if you were a great leader, you would bring it in front of the board, do the appropriate matters, like what they call RFPs, bring it in front of the board so everyone is aware of who's doing the work, what work is being done. You sit up here and act as if when you were a trustee, you didn't mention a tree list. You kept stating the importance of a tree list. But now, as a mayor, because this is something that you want to enforce, you don't find it fit for us to get the information. And then you sit here and say, oh, well, they don't want to approve it. How about you bring the RFPs in front of us? We all discuss it. How about we have a meeting, the first meeting that we're supposed to have, which is the CAL meeting, and then you present the vendors to us. We know exactly what's going on, not just us, but the community.
How many times have we heard Trustee Brittany Norwood tell the mayor, the person who sits in the seat of a mayor. How many times have we heard her say the same thing? I would be fucking exhausted. At some point, I gotta just punch you in the mouth. How many times have we heard her say in the same words, with the same examples, the same thing, yet the person who sits in the seat of a mayor, the person who sits in the seat of an administrator, the person who sits in the seat of a finance director, and the person who sits in the seat of an HR director act like they don't understand what she's saying? Who's dumb? You dumb. You dumb. The woman has said the same thing over and over and over again. Month after month after month, with the same passion and the same zeal and the same vigor and the same respect. And you still don't get it? What is it going to take?
It's their money also. If you present it, then we know what's coming and we're not surprised. Every month we get a warrant list and we have 50 different vendors. You say to us, oh, well, you've been a follower. Well, how about when you all sent the email, it was approved for the $1 million for 5-star. That was approved, $1 million. I said, hey, Mayor, are you sure we have the money? You said, yeah, we have the money. So we have the money. To me, it would make sense to write the check out for the $1 million and pay the people.
Y'all heard her ask in the meeting we talked about yesterday, do we have the money? And Tiffany Henyard hemmed and hawed and finally said, yes, we have the funds. This was just a month ago.
But if we're not paying the people that's already meant to be paid, and every month you're coming and you're shoving these bills in front of our face and saying, pay it, pay it, pay it, how do we know where we stand financially? We don't. And that's our concern. You sit here and say, well, why? Because we cannot afford it. If we're in a $2.6 million deficit, a deficit sounds like we can't afford it. So we should prioritize. And that's all we're stating. You get up here, you make it personal, this and that. We're here to do a job. My job is to oversee the finances, and that's what I'm here to do. So you can stay all day long, follow leader. You be a good leader and bring the RPs in front of us. That way we all know, the community know who.
Now, we heard Trustee Brittany Norwood mention, let me get away from this window while they're doing construction across the street. You heard Trustee Brittany Norwood mention the $2.6 million deficit. Now, I, along with you, have not watched the rest of this meeting yet. I only watched up to the point where Brittany Norwood started to speak, because I knew that she was going to summarize what had already been said. I kind of knew what she was going to say, because she does say the same thing all the time, and which doesn't make sense to me why they don't get it, because she said it over and over again. She said it. She's told you exactly what needs to be done, and you still act like you don't understand. But I hadn't watched up to this point yet. I am interested to see from this point, because my focus now is on that deficit. I'm interested to see at this point if the person who sits in the seat of the mayor, or the person who sits in the seat of the administrator, or the person who sits in the seat of the finance director are going to say anything about this deficit that Brittany Norwood just mentioned.
Doing the work. It's 10 different vendors on here doing grass. Who is our main grass vendor?
That's what I was
What
wondering.
grass is getting cut? How much grass is there?
That's what I was wondering. You got one family who is asking for $10,000 for lawn care. I mean, how many people are cutting grass? But they got the kids out there doing it for free. Based on what Sam Brown said last week, they paying them pennies for the summer. So who's charging $10,000?
Things that you should present to us. You say, call me. Why are we calling you? As a good leader, you should present the information to us, and we won't have to call you. We'll know, and we'll all be aware. But that's my stance on it. If you present it to us ahead of time, we'll know. You sit here and you say, oh, they don't want to pay this, they don't want to pay that. Explain to us exactly what we're paying. Pay 5-star that $1 million, and let's go from there. Then we know how much money we have, so we can continue paying vendors. If we break it up, how are we going to know? If he signed the checks and break it up, how are we going to know when the money goes out? So what, 250,000 is going to go out now? 250,000 is going to go out in September, October, 200. How are we doing this? Why not just pay?
And why? If you have the money, why not pay the people? Unless you're trying to hold on to money, robbing Peter to pay Paul, just to have a little money to be able to see, so you feel a little bit more secure knowing you actually owe that money out. Go ahead and pay them people.
So that we know what we're approving. That's my concern. Us having the money and being financially responsible. That's it. All I'm saying is do RFPs so we know. And then we're going to have this fight. Like you stated, we've been doing this for 2 years. For 2 years, you've never presented us an RFP. We've had one RFP. So for once, we knew exactly what was happening. And that was it. So again, if you could present the things to us so that we can do our job and make a good financial decision regarding the finances, then we won't sit up here and bicker every time it's time for finances. But it's the surprise for me, the element of surprise. So thank you. That's my stance on it. You do our piece. We won't sit here and argue. We'll know who's doing the work.
Now, this is September 2023. Y'all have heard Brittany Norwood say this since, right? Even March 2024. You've heard. We learned what RFPs were from her. It has been her conversation. So why are they acting like here in 2024 they don't understand where all of this is coming from? And there was a $2.6 million deficit in September of 2023. That's what was just testified as of Jason House and Brittany Norwood. And Tangenique admitted to 1.6. And the mayor inadvertently admitted to all of it.
And it won't be a surprise. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, man.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm so confused right now. I don't know if I'm shocked or Trustee Norwood. In October, you got a warrant list for $389,000 and $400 for $389,400 for 5-star. And then in November, y'all got another warrant list for $319,600. And then in December, y'all got another warrant list for $741,000. And then in January, you got a new one for $745,000. March, y'all got one for $922,000. April, y'all got one. I'm just so confused. How in the world did you not know that these individual bills or these individual payments were going to, I know that you know they were going to add up to one big check, but why in the world would we issue out one big check when all of these bills you guys passed up every single month? Why would we not issue them out the way that they were presented to us every single?
Why wouldn't you issue out one big check? It was approved as one amount. It wasn't approved as several different small amounts. It was, see, that's where we go when we talk about the amount of spending and how it's being hidden, how the amounts are being hidden.
Month, and you can't say they weren't presented to you because you got them every single month. You got them in October, November, December, January, March, April, June. You got them that way. You got them. They were presented to you that way. And there's no rule, no law, unless you could tell me one. Mike Delgado, is there a law that states that they have to pay, that the bills have to be paid in one lump sum check when it's approved on a warrant?
No.
Okay, so if you got it, you know for a fact that that's how it was issued to you. Why would we not present the check to you the same way that it was issued? You guys chose not to pay the bills. We're giving it back to you the same way the same way that we presented it to you before.
Okay, so I'm glad you're speaking, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you.
You sent an email.
I never get a chance to talk to you. I usually talk to Jason House over there.
And I appreciate your time, right?
You. Okay.
So, and just say yes or no, because I don't even want to go back and forth. I've already expressed how I felt about it.
I know how you feel.
I've already expressed my vote, right?
Yes,
so
I know how you feel. Yes.
The question is, and it's just a yes or no. Did you or did you not send an email stating that we cannot afford to pay the $1 million in one check? And you explained to us that you wanted to have the checks broken down.
I said that would be the responsible thing.
Okay, because you said.
But
now, I'm going to go back and let you hear that again. She said, did you or did you not send us an email saying we could not afford to make the $1 million payment in one payment? And for the sake of both of them, it would be more responsible for us to break the payments down. That means they don't have the money. In a $33 million budget, they can't pay $1 million bill. I'm gonna let her ask that question.
Yes, and it's just a yes or no. Did you or did you not send an email stating that we cannot afford to pay the $1 million in one check? And you explained to us that you wanted to have the checks broken down.
I said that would be the responsible thing.
Okay, because you said.
But I did not say that we can afford. I did not use the word afford.
Okay, but the email stated.
But you said you wanted me to say yes or no, so I'm going to say no.
Okay, your terminology was a financial bind, correct?
I'm going to use the word no.
Okay, so yes or no? Did you? Or did
You told me to say yes or no.
Okay, all right, enough. So hold on, 1 minute, Trustee Brown. So I just want to say this to Trustee Norwood, because she said she made her statement. You guys are taking things off the warrant list that's under the threshold of the $5,000. So let me school you again, because you say that you want to listen to me. I'm just educating you. All I can do is give you the facts. You're welcome. I'm about to give you the lesson. You about to get this lesson.
So smart.
Y'all know I'm not super smart. Come on out, But anyway, so
she can't even say it. She said Kuma Mo Lottie. Now, this woman has told everybody that she has assumed, I can't even say it now, summa cum laude. She's told everybody, I'll take you to the website right now and show you, but I won't. She has told everybody that she graduated from Robert Morris University summa cum laude, which is the highest honor. But she didn't just say that. She said something completely different. You can't say it out loud, but you earned it. That's why I don't believe this woman actually finished college. She don't talk like she's written a paper. Not even a paper. Trustee Belcher's working on her dissertation. I finished my thesis. She don't even talk like she finished an essay. And she can't say the honor that she earned.
let me school you again, because you say that you want to listen to me. I'm just educating you. All I can do is give you the facts. You're welcome. I'm about to give you the lesson. You about to get this lesson.
So smart.
Y'all know I'm not super smart. Come on out, But anyway, so basically, I just want you to know that when we give you the bills list, half of the time, most of them that Jason House is pulling off is under the $5,000. So you just stated out of your mouth that, hey, if it's over $5,000, it should go to the board. That's not even true. Over $5,000 to go to $20,000 to go to the village administrator. That's $20,000. And then clarity for RFPs. Keep my RFPs. Anybody over, is it 20, 25? $25,000, you put it out for RFP. Half of the vendors that we use is under the threshold. Even with the roof and window program, how are you guys stopping things like that? That's grant money. And the threshold for roof was $5,000 and for windows was $2,000. So what I'm saying to you is that you're putting your feet in your mouth because you keep saying the opposite of what you're saying. You have to vote on things that's for you only. You get what I'm saying? If it's $5,000, that means the mayor can sign off on it, right? If it's $20,000, the village administrator is supposed to sign on. We're talking about laws and rules, right? That's how it goes. And if it's for a RFP, it's over $25,000. So what are we doing wrong? It's all on the warrant list. And you keep saying RFP. Now put your phone down. Don't get no help now. Just listen to what I'm saying. All I'm saying to you is that, because don't text nobody. I don't text nobody. I just want you to know what I'm saying.
Just do your job.
I am. I'm doing my job. I need you to do your job. That's why I'm telling you, trustee. Because at the end of the day, you keep following and you won't get the facts. If somebody give you the information, you still won't listen. You heard the lawyer just tell you, we don't have to talk to you guys about breaking the money up. The money can get broken up. If it's a vendor, like he just pulled out somebody else.
And there is no law that states the board has to sign those checks. There is no law that states the board has to sign those checks. What they are doing is not illegal. Things aren't just illegal because you say they are.
He had one check. Y'all still pulled it out. One check. Why y'all pull it out? That's my point. Because you guys are picking and choosing who you want to pay. One check. Trustee House just read it to record that you pulling out. Why? Y'all read another vendor when it was $500 or something. Why? Why? This is my point to you. Like, it's mess. It's people nickel and diming and picking who they want to pay. That's not right. You want the service or you don't want the service. Then you talk about who congress. Y'all asked that 2 board meetings ago. You know the answer. And then you talk about doing your job. Have committee meetings. Why you ain't no committee meeting to talk about nothing? But yet you get here and say, let's do this, let's do that. I'm saying that you on committee, but in budget, please pass the budget, y'all. All I can do is tell y'all to pass the budget. Pass the budget. Do y'all jobs. Once again, do y'all jobs. But these are the things that I can point out to you. We can go back and forth all day long. But at the end of the day, none of y'all are doing your jobs. But when y'all get here, we put on the show, and then at the end of the day, nothing gets resolved. Nothing. All I'm asking you guys to do what's right. If you saying my threshold's $5,000,
Have you heard Tangenique Audronique Miller? And the reason I call her Tangenique Audronique is because I did find another woman in Chicago who has verifiably the same background that Tangenique claims to have. And the other woman who I found in Chicago who has a similar background, verifiably, her name actually is Audronique Miller. So I think Tangenique is using one of her close family members' resumes. But you haven't heard her or Tiffany refute the claim of $2.6 million in deficit. Brittany Norwood just said it. She didn't say that's not true. There is no deficit. Here she is. She's finally admitting there is a deficit. I mean, it was just 2 meetings ago when there was no deficit. There was no deficit in August. And then in July, there was no deficit. And then all of a sudden in August, we got some overdue bills. Because, she started hinting to it. What we talked about yesterday. And here we are. Now it is a full-fledged deficit. She's not denying it. But it's all the trustees' fault.
put all the bills back in that's under $5,000. If his threshold is $20,000, put all the bills back in that's under that threshold. Then what's the problem? That's within the laws, right?
Because it shouldn't matter how they're spending the money, should it? Long as it's under $20,000. Yeah, go buy yourself an $18,000 vehicle that you get to ride around all on your own that does no work for the village of Dolton or the township of Thornton. Because they're pulling from both places. Don't forget that.
Following the laws, we put it on the warrant list, right? And the laws is